Oh, 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 oh. Uh, uh, uh. I'm out of
What
town,
it
thugging with my
is?
round.
What's up? Hey, can two ways to
You
say
know,
it, get a love.
hey,
Hey, what it
hey,
is? What's
hey,
up? Can two ways to
hey,
say it, get a love.
hey.
Oh, what up, y'all? Welcome to episode 6, right? Um, I am Casey, as y'all know. And
I am Ashley Renee. Okay.
also, so tonight, today, whenever you see it, we are talking about the what do I want to say? The biggest thing I guess going, especially if you are from down south, but in general, in the world, you can really say, and that is Miss
Not the world.
Carlee Russell. Well, for a minute. Now we
Yes.
to calm down, but when we doing it, yeah, we're gonna really just say Alabama because it was central. But yeah, we
Hmm.
talking about Carlee Russell. We're gonna kind of get into a couple things we did last week. We kind of touched on it because we didn't have no facts. We couldn't really say anything. But this week we got them. So we just gonna
Hmm.
touch on a couple things, you know what I'm saying? Everything. We're gonna just touch on a lot of things. It's not a narrow topic, so we're gonna just kind of hit on everything with this Carlee Russell. So I'm gonna hand it over
Yes.
to Ashley Renee.
Hola, everyone.
¿Cómo está?
Like Mr. Casey said, tonight we'll be talking about Carlee Russell. Dang, I'm almost messing up her name. Carlee Russell.
Mm-hmm.
So before we start, let me just go ahead and throw a disclaimer out there. This is not a bashing session.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about the situation is how you feel about the situation. Yes, we may laugh and joke throughout. But
Mm-hmm.
again, kidnapping or joking about kidnapping is something serious and something that we take serious as well. So
Right.
just wanted to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the nitty gritty. Just
Let's get
it
it
is
now.
what it is. So
Right.
overview, as y'all already know what happened, but I'll just go ahead and touch on it just a little. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Carlee went missing
Mm-hmm.
July the 13th
Mm-hmm.
from Interstate 459. She
Mm-hmm.
called the police, right? And
Mm-hmm.
said that she saw a toddler, a
Uh-huh.
white toddler
Mm-hmm.
that just has on a shirt and a diaper, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she stated that they were on the side of the interstate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she did she end the call with
I think she might have died. I'm not sure. I think she hung it up and maybe called like a family member or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
know they told her to that the state trooper would be out there and I think they
Mm-hmm.
hung up the phone and she spoke with her sister-in-law
Mm-hmm.
and the sister-in-law heard her scream, what asked the baby was he okay? And then
Mm-hmm.
she heard her scream, all of that. The top not the toddler, but the state trooper arrived and only saw her car running, still running, the
Mm-hmm.
wig, the infamous wig,
And the phone
um, and the phone and her watch, right? Her watch was
in the
in
car.
her purse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days later, she well, I don't even want to skip to that. So everyone's assuming that she is kidnapped, maybe
Mm-hmm.
for sex trafficking or anything. I also seen where someone saying that she was meeting up with a 17-year-old at the hotel Red Roof Inn in
Mm-hmm.
Vestavia. Just so much stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So July 15th comes. This is almost what 3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
She appears back at her home that night, Saturday night, and come to find out, we're gonna skip all that. That Carlee is a liar. I'm just playing. She said that she actually was kidnapped
Mm-hmm.
and what someone was feeding her Cheetos. What did they put her in a trailer or something? A
Yeah.
transport
Something.
trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
either way, all of it was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't kidnapped. There was no baby, no hotel, no one was involved with her, even though I just feel like that's a lie too, because it's no way you walk through those woods. Where did you go? But
Yeah.
she said no one else was involved.
Hmm.
So also too, I don't know how true this is, but she ran away or faked a kidnapping
Hmm.
because I think she wanted to get some type of sympathy from her boyfriend, right?
That's the assumption. Hmm.
So how you feel about that? So let's just talk about her thing. How
Let,
do you feel
let's
about
dive into
this? Yes.
it. Okay. So of course, like everyone else, of course, we all had sympathy. Well, I think it's natural, right? Like when something happens, I don't think and it's crazy. I'd never on my Facebook, I don't even share anything of nobody, and I actually shared a post, in support, because of how much press it got. So I think in general, our first initial thing is to show sympathy. We want people to be safe. We want them to go home. We don't want them away from their family. Of course, we don't want that the tragedy to happen, especially to a young person anyway. So that was the first thing, of course. So, I'm not gonna say I ever didn't question it, but of course I questioned some stuff, right? We all had questions. So when we saw the video, we was kind of like, okay, this happened. So how did this happen? What a toilet, like just different questions. And that kind of ran through my mind. But of course, like we don't want to question a victim. You don't want to do that. We don't want
Mm-hmm.
to look bad by questioning the victim. I know I saw a lot of people on Facebook where they were getting a lot of, even after she went home, people were still getting a lot of like, y'all wrong for joking or saying something about her or whatever. And people standing on it, they were kind of saying like they still don't believe something. And of course, you're gonna get slack for that because people don't want, what I'm saying, they want you to be happy that somebody is home. They don't want you to be, speculating how they get home that quick. They don't want you to think about that. They want you to say she home and everybody be happy. Kumbaya. Um, and of course, when we found out, and we actually found out most recently, which it was confirmed that, of course, all of it was false. It was all fabricated. Um,
Hope. Mm-hmm.
right. So my initial, I guess, thought would be that say, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say that saying, like I told you, I care more about how it affects the people behind her. Other possible missing cases, other females as I hear that probably gonna need that coverage if they do come missing. And we gotta be realistic. They probably won't get it. It's gonna be too, and not saying is they just won't get it because people won't do it because they scared of being lied to again. It's the fact of like, because of all these efforts being put into one person, which then it never happens. Now it's gonna be kind of like people are gonna be questioning, should I, like, should we do it or should we look more into it? And why people are going to be questioning it, that some can actually be happening to somebody in real life. Because we
Mm-hmm.
know there is a world of sick, crazy people, especially these crazy men out here. So that was my first concern. I'm more concerned with how this affects other young women out here. Of course, young
Right.
women be by themselves all the time. That's not going to stop. Just like she said, she's by herself. That's still, women travel by themselves. They do what they got to do. Now, when you think about it, when something happens to a woman for real, even we could go all the way for the dispatch. Of course, dispatch, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna do their job. But think about it now. When they answer the call saying something's going on, they're gonna think twice now. They're not. They're gonna be like, "Is this another one of these?" Especially down here, they're gonna think, "Is it another one of these, or should I even be urgent now?" Because they were kind of being urgent with her. They were making sure they got everything, especially when they said there was a child involved. Now, that's the part that bothers me. I don't like when people make decisions like this. You don't think about how it affects the people behind you and the people
Everyone.
around you. Yeah,
Yes.
it's not more of like, okay, yeah, we've been lied to. We've been lied to plenty of times. It's not even that. It's the fact of now when if somebody else goes missing or if somebody else is in danger, people are now going to second guess supporting, trying to
Mm-hmm.
find them or trying to help them. So that was my, I guess, main ick about it. I hated it. And of course, now, like you say, people are going to, of course, talk about her. Like you say, we're adults. Everything is a choice. I know people always say, well, maybe she has something going on. It could be a mental thing, which that can be true. But in
Mm-hmm.
hindsight, I can't give the same sympathy to someone like that than I would with somebody who actually, I guess needs sympathy. So
Right.
that's where I'm at right now. Especially I don't know her in person, but as it affects people around her, I have to have some feeling, because this is like a community thing. We are, of course, the same race, same shoe, almost, we down here in the South where we don't even get stuff happen down here. We don't even get that much coverage off nothing. Like people don't even think about it. And it's Alabama. When the last time you heard like somewhere they care about one person in Alabama? I mean, let's be for real. Like
one black girl in
yes,
Alabama.
like
Yeah.
in Alabama, they would literally see that story and look past it. This became nationwide. So that's for me. I am bothered by how it affects the people and women behind her. Because I think if anything, this could have been something that helped the community to show that if we come together, we can find somebody. But in reality, it actually hurt the community because now that possible help that we could have got, we probably won't ever get it again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm at. That's why I'm at. Oh, that was heavy, but that's why I'm at.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you said because again, I feel like with this situation, it really did show for one, like you just said, what the police department, the community can do when someone actually does go missing, how much coverage a black person can get once they go missing if we really wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So I also wanted to go back too because I can remember when she first became missing. I read it and I did not know she was from Alabama, anything. I just saw the picture, but I kept scrolling. So I can't admit I did not share it at first. I didn't even read it. And then I noticed again, I'm just like, okay, wait, what's going on? Let me actually just sit here and read it. I was like, wait, Hoover? Wait, hold on. So I was like, I shared, I think, one or two things from the news page, right? So of course, I'm like, oh my God, this is a black girl. I didn't think that it had anything to do with sex trafficking. I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't. I always assumed that it's something with the boyfriend or family issues. I just do. I never go straight into human trafficking, right? So of course, like I'm scared and worried because it is close to home for us. So now I'm scared. Now you got to watch your surroundings and all that. And even before you should be, but of course, when it happens right then, it's just like, okay, what's going on? We're talking about kids. Who baby is this? Just trying to deep dive. And then once they show the video from the interstate, just zooming in, I'm like, okay, wait, I do see somebody. And sometimes your brain makes you see things that you want to see because I know I seen somebody over there standing right there by the sign, but who am I?
We don't,
So I'm just like, okay, yeah, I saw someone. So then I started to go through the comments. I'm reading it. They was just like, no, ain't nobody out there. Look, she getting out the car, all that. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking. I said, wait, I don't see anyone.
It's
just,
too.
And then you see the.
And that show you how invested everybody was.
Yes, very invested. Everyone breaking down, zooming in, just doing all the work. And then, of course, once she comes back home, everybody wants to know. That was the whole thing that that's what I want to touch on right there.
Yeah.
Once she came home and now you see on Facebook, everyone saying like, oh, she doesn't owe anyone an explanation. And again, I talked about this in the last episode. And I'm going to say it again. Okay, does she owe us an explanation? How can I say it? Because I think I'm going to add a little more to it. It's like, no.
Right.
But at the same time, technically, no. She don't owe us anything, right? Do what you want to do, blah, blah. But technically, yes, in the same way, right? Because I feel like you do owe your community and the people who helped but especially Anaya Blanchard's mom and everyone else that was out helping, cousins, family members, everyone, what happened. So yes, but also too, I feel like the Hoover Police Department, she owes an explanation to them, and they owe us an explanation because
Right.
we do have to worry about if it was a kidnapper out there or
Mm-hmm.
what we have to watch out for, who baby this was that she was saying. You know, it was like, oh, she don't owe nobody no explanation, blah blah. Yeah, to a
You
certain
kind of,
extent, you do.
yeah, to a certain
So,
extent, right?
like, let's be for real. Let's wake up. Let's stop because here we go with the sympathy, and it's
Yeah.
okay to have a little sympathy, but let's not let it affect our thinking. Okay.
And and I think also when it comes to like sympathy, and I like I always say, I get it, right? Because we want to give
Mhm.
sympathy to people because you don't want nobody to be balled up and beat up, and of course it makes what their mental health and stuff worse. This is this is what they
Mhm.
think. You want people to, you don't want them to feel alone. You want it to be, but I think people need to realize that giving people sympathy is not always the way to help mental health. I think people feel
Mhm.
like no matter what somebody do, if you tell them it's okay and be sad for them or show that, that's not always how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want, first,
Mhm.
you don't want to be an enabler. You know what I mean? Because if somebody did something this big, on this level, it's so big and it's this bad, telling them like it's all okay. You don't just tell them that because you literally sometimes people had to literally learn what they did because people do stuff without thinking of what they just
Right.
did. Telling them that, oh, it's okay, and that, let me try to make them say like nothing really is coming of it. That's when they don't understand I'm saying level, but the measure of whatever, what they just did. This is a big thing. This is not a small
Mhm.
thing. I don't think I can see this and be like, even if it was somebody I was related to or something, I wouldn't go to them and
Mhm.
be like, what I'm saying, I understand y'all want the social media people, and that's why I understand the parents to protect her. That's natural instinct. I get it.
Mhm.
But in general, telling somebody that the first thing you do is show somebody sympathy when they do something so bad, that does not necessarily help them get any better for if they was, what I'm saying, had
Right.
anything going on mentally. You got to literally let people be accountable. I don't see how you can get better if you say, if somebody tell me I did something bad, somebody tell me it's gonna be all be okay. Well, I guess there's more room for me to do something bad again. I can lie again.
Pretty
I
much.
can do it again because and nobody is holding me accountable. They want me to
Yes.
be coddled. I did something so
Mhm.
bad, kind of affected a lot of people. But if I'm coddled, then I'm not gonna think I did nothing bad. I could just give a simple like, I'm sorry, y'all, and that's all good. No, you don't get better from that. So yeah, that's why I don't. You can't really give everything sympathy. I don't think everything is deserving of sympathy, at all. Um, yeah, it's a cop out.
It's almost to me like you just want to sweep this up under the rug when I'm reading certain comments. It's just like,
No,
okay, she's home. Let's let it go. It's like, yes,
yeah.
we're glad that she's home. It's not saying that, you know, because I think some people think like they wasted a prayer. Like,
I mean, yeah,
and the same way, I can't tell them not to be mad about that,
yeah,
because again, it was all a hoax, right?
yeah.
So, it,
And I always say, imagine feeling like you were played. We don't ever want to
mm-hmm.
feel like that, right? That's how
Yes.
it feels. So I don't think people get that. Like, yeah, we of course people don't know her. And I say this too. I don't even like to say that. If we're a community, naturally, if something happen to one of us, we're supposed to feel something, right? If we're supposed to be this
Yes.
community, so if something happen or somebody go missing, somebody this, even when you see all these the just young stuff happen to young people, it's supposed to naturally hit something in there anyway. So to feel like you've been played or that your feelings they were valid, but quote unquote wasted.
Yeah.
I think that is granted. Like you should have the room to be mad. Like you should feel some type of way. You don't have to, say I get down want her to you don't want people to be bashed, but in general, you kind of had a right to feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's just for real.
Yes. To me, I look at it like prayer is energy, and no
It is.
one wants to waste energy. I know I
Yeah.
don't.
Because you definitely feel, yeah, when you are praying, like it's what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
unless people don't think about praying like I do. When you're praying, I'm talking to him like what I'm saying. I'm really asking for. This is not like fake stuff. I'm not. I don't just be talking. You know what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't want to waste on words. This is my time to talk to him. So that's why I say unless people look at prayer different, I don't know how everybody do that prayer. But I think it's serious. I get
And
it.
that's true. And that prayer could have been used on someone who was actually missing or who still is
Yes.
missing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And put a lot of more energy towards Anaya
Yeah.
Blanchard's mom as well. Like,
Yeah.
I
That's what a
don't
prayer
know
should be.
into some of the things that we saw on her accounts, like her Twitter account. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I think on Twitter, she stated that she wanted to feel loved or she
Mm-hmm.
wanted like a family. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing this was something towards her boyfriend because I don't know which account it was, Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was, they showed a screenshot of her speaking with the stripper that her boyfriend cheated on her with,
Mm-hmm.
saying like, "I'm better than you. You're a
Allegedly.
stripper."
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. We'll know later, but allegedly. Yeah.
She did. I'm so I'll just say I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but saying that you're a stripper, I'm a nurse, pretty much just saying I'm better than you,
Mm-hmm.
all that. So I'm thinking a lot of this stuff did stem from her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. I'm sorry, her ex-boyfriend now. So what do you think about it as a male? Like, what are your
Whew.
thoughts on that?
So let me. I'm gonna go in general. Then I go back. In general, that's why I think it's important. If you when you go with people, the relationships be good, but it's when people do certain stuff, certain patterns. I don't ignore them. Put it like that. Like I don't like,
Hmm.
like it could be well, some people look at stuff small and big, but it could be some small stuff. You know what I'm saying? When people just say I'm gonna give you an example. Like if you going somewhere and somebody's jealous of that, some small stuff, just kind of their reaction. It's kind of like something you need to know. Just ignoring it, kind of, I think it only builds it up. You know what I'm saying? Like just ignoring it because they probably gonna do it later in a bigger way. That's how I look at it. So when people you're in a relationship and people telling you they don't like this stuff, even that, and they valid for I guess feeling whatever way. But if you know what I'm saying, if they just tripping, it is what it is. But them calling it out and you ignoring it don't necessarily mean it's going away. The feeling's still gonna be there, and if you're not paying them no attention this way, trust me, they're gonna do it in a bigger way. You're gonna pay attention to men. They're gonna always shoot out to prove something. And so yeah, that's why I'm gonna be honest. When people do little stuff, like I tell y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it off. I'm sorry, it don't take much. But yeah, little stuff, like little irritating stuff. I don't like the jealousy stuff. I'm gonna make sure I'm not doing that to make you jealous, but I don't like the jealousy stuff. I don't like the checking me. I don't like, just little stuff that I feel like it can be avoided. I don't like that. So, and you can express it. And if I'm not gonna stay with you if you're gonna keep doing it. But that's how I feel on that. Now, let me go to who we are talking about. I think
Oh.
I think that I just love to talk about myself. But no, I think that let me see. Based off what I've seen, I can definitely see that a lot of the intention and stuff was to get the attention of him. Or if it wasn't him, it was somebody else. But we're gonna say him because that's what we think. So I think a lot of stuff that was happening, even if the moment the time she was gone, it could have been part of it, like the stuff that was happening there. I think everything was, and to be honest, we can look at all of it as an attention grab. But specifically, I think it was targeted at somebody. I need you to see that I'm missing. I need to see you scramble. I need to see that you still like me. I need to see that me gone, you're gonna feel this type of way. And we see it all the time. We see people definitely do little stuff to prove something or to feel like it's gonna get this certain reaction out of people, trying to control this narrative. Um, yeah, we ain't say we're gonna I guess hear from her, but yeah, I gotta see an explanation because if not, I think it literally was just stem from literally want attention from one person. If you went to that extent, boy, you done did something.
Period.
It is a lot. And yeah, like you said, like we said, we are speaking of alleged things, but in general, that's what I feel. I feel like it literally was for the attention of one person, and that is for what came out of it. I'm sorry, it's never that. It's never that deep. It's never that serious. But that's just me. That's me.
I always say, I'm gonna say it every time. People always say that money is the root of all evil
But it
or
ain't.
whatever. And nowadays, I'm gonna always say it's attention. For most people, and again, I feel like everybody like a little attention.
We
Even in
do.
relationships, I think as a female, we like a little jealousy, a little, just a little. You like, hey, And no, I'm not even gonna say females. Maybe some of us.
Right.
So, but to go to the greatest extreme,
the greatest, yes,
to fake a kidnapping, to get the attention of a guy allegedly cheated on you with a stripper. Nothing wrong with stripping. Do what you want to do.
I love them strippers.
But so I'm just gonna they cheated on you.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I have.
Yeah, and it's understandable.
It's okay because I think, as a woman, of course, if you get cheated on, you're sad. And you tend to somehow not know where to place this anger sometimes, right? It could be at the other woman or people around you and not specifically him, right? So, no, would I ever do that? No, never. No, I don't understand. But it's something where I can't explain it. It's kind of like this. Let me make sure I say it right. Don't agree with it. It was very attention seeking, especially it's sad, and I do hate that for her because again, I think any female, any male wants to be loved by their partner or feel loved anyway. And I think the average woman, of course, wants, like she said, wants a family, and she's a Cancer. But we'll talk about zodiac on another podcast. But I think just that baseline of Cancers, we know they're very family oriented. So I mean, I get it. But we definitely don't need to fake hoax. I said fake hoax, fake kidnapping, just to seek the attention of
anyone,
a male, anybody, and getting other people involved as well.
Yeah.
So now I want to tap into the whole, I say psychology part of it, but why? Why do you think she actually, faked the whole kidnapping? Like, why do you think she did that?
Okay,
or where do you think it stemmed from, and why do you think she did it? Yeah.
Okay, and this the part where we are being nicer. You can say that because we're gonna look at not even or reasoning, right? Or reasoning. We're trying to reason with her. So I guess in this, I guess we getting into mental health. I'm gonna say where I think it stems from. I do think it always stems from home. I think when, and it's funny because this all bad, but I was so thinking about you. You remember when we when everybody used to you get mad at your parents or whatever and start packing your clothes. Like you're gonna run away. They be like, "Go do it."
Yeah.
That's the reason we didn't do it because we came from a family where we know we'll be fine. And I think we had that actual, like we knew we were gonna be all right. We just pump and fake. We want somebody to react. But anyway, I think in this to go the full extent, like that's why I give an example because she could have just hinted at it, right? You could simply post, "I want to go away. I want to get away." But to actually go do it, there has to be some way where you don't feel a safe enough space to tell people that you don't feel seen or, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you feel like you having to do this to get attention. So apparently somebody is not paying you enough attention. That's what I'm assuming from it. Because mind you, she could be getting all the attention in the world, but we looking on the outside. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, I think it's stemming from home. I'm not gonna always get a benefit of the doubt, like, you know what I'm saying, people doing this to you and that's why you do this, because like I say, everything is a choice. But possibly somebody could have not paid her enough attention. Like you said, it could be the boyfriend, it could have been at home. Like she could have felt like you just walking around, it'll feel like walking around not being seen, people not paying you enough attention, even if they're giving you a little attention, it's not the attention you want. And you would do anything for it. Like you say, attention is just more powerful than money these days. So just the fact of people, and I'm a hope. I don't want to put it on the good. I don't want to put it on the. I will hope she ain't sitting there like, oh, this is what I wanted. I'm a hope. No, I'm not gonna say this what she's saying, because attention, like you say, for a lot of people, that's all they need, and it make them feel good. But in general,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put it to, if you want to go mental, I think literally it's some in her head where she doesn't feel safe enough to sit there and express to somebody that she don't feel seen, or somebody is not paying her enough attention. It's making her feel less than what she is, and that made her literally do it because I guess in some way she feel like doing this, they will see me for who they'll see me. They'll see me for who I am. They will value me
Mm-hmm.
a little more with the thought of me being gone. And I do hate when people get to that point. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people literally hint at being gone because they want somebody to see or get that feeling of them being gone, and they feel like that now they'll value me. I hate when people get to that point. It's pretty sad. But in this case, I do feel like it's kind of part of it. Or somebody, whoever you want the attention from, you feel like if you gave them a glimpse of you being gone, then they will value you. I get it. That's just not the way to do it. But that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let you go and I'm gonna sat back in. But that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Apparently, it wasn't a safe place around. But yeah.
Okay, I can agree with what you said. I think that could be one of the reasons. And I also
Mm-hmm.
think actually getting too much attention is one of the reasons. I don't know
Mm.
if she's the only child, but I feel like she is. Maybe was the only child that grew up in the house with her and her parents. I think too, I think because I know some people usually that's the only child, or they're the only child.
Mm.
Um they tend to get a lot of attention because you're the only one. Nothing wrong with that,
Right.
understandable, you know.
Right.
But I think sometimes you can get caught up in this bubble too, that thinking because your parents see you this certain way or your family see you this certain way, they're giving you all this attention, you
That.
know. Yes.
Mm.
And now once you step out into this big world, you
Mm.
realize that no one cares what you
Yes.
think. Nobody cares what you look like. Nobody cares what car you drive.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. You tend to shut down. And now you have
Yes.
to go back to the root, which
Mm-hmm.
is okay, wait. Mom and daddy said I'm right about this. Auntie and them
Ooh.
gave me all this attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never wrong. The spotlight is always on me. Why
Mm-hmm.
isn't my boyfriend showing me any attention? Why
Yep.
um don't my friends care that I drive a red Mercedes? Or that we live in this big house. And
Mm-hmm.
granted, I think that they were, she comes from a blessed family. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. But you have to understand too, again, like I said, once you step out into the real world,
It's different.
no, most people don't care anything about that. It's more so about your personality. And when you can't
Mm-hmm.
get, I'm not gonna say most people don't care because some people do care, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, some people just don't care about that.
Yeah.
So I do think it was she was having got too much attention at
Mm-hmm.
home,
Yeah.
possibly.
Mm.
And also I'm gonna say it. We can tend to see this a lot where most people hang around, not most people, some people
Some
hang
people.
around people who are what they think are people that's less than them or view them less than them. And I think that could have been a situation with Carlee as well. I'm just gonna that possibly could be it too.
I get it.
As you, just from what I saw her say allegedly to the stripper. when you're saying like I'm better than you, you're a stripper, I'm a nurse. Was she even a nurse?
I want to say so. I don't know. I really
Or
didn't
was she
even
just
hear.
in school to be a nurse?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I thought
To
she
me,
was. I
when
don't know.
people say stuff like that, it makes me think that you're used to hanging around people who you feel are less than you.
Okay, I can see
So
that.
that's just how I feel. So
Okay.
yeah. So we know that she's in a sorority group as well. So I was wondering, like, do you think that her sorority group should expel her?
Okay. Um, I just say for like I can't totally understand because I never played, so I don't totally
Hmm.
understand all the rules and stuff. We can only just hear it unless you actually in it. I think based on how they hold themselves accountable. So we're not gonna say the sorority, but the sorority that she's in, I feel like if they hold themselves accountable for those type of things, and if they feel like that she represents them bad, then for sure, because this is such a big thing that you can't really hide from it. It's one
Hmm.
thing to do something and a couple people talking, but to have the world talking, this is kind of another thing. So in that sense, if they literally feel like she is making them, because you're supposed to be, I would think when you get in these sororities and fraternities, you're getting in it because you want to be a representation of them. I think that's the point of them
Yeah,
allowing you
and
to be a part of it.
a service to the community, right?
Yeah, so you're right, and that's the biggest part of it. It's supposed to be a positive thing. So I guess if you're doing something that reflects, negative, I would think then yeah. Now on the side of if just say it wasn't, that's not how they hold themselves, like where they just kind of don't care for real and kind of make it seem like they care, or kind of just long as somebody is, paying the dues and just doing what we want to say the sorority duties, then they
Hmm.
probably keep it out. Like if they don't care that much. But I think it all boils down to if they think everything that's people who are part of the sorority or the chapter, whatever. I don't know if they feel like they are being a bad representation of that. It depends on how they hold themselves. I think what they do in this shows how accountable they hold, the people, the
Yeah.
members of their sorority. I'm be tongue twisted with these words. All this, I want to say, I want to say group so bad, but I understand. I'm gonna be respectful, but yes, if they hold her accountable, then that would show that they care that much. But if not, then it kind of show they kind of, it just really doesn't matter to them how they're represented. That's what I say.
Okay. I personally think that they should, again,
Mm-hmm.
like you just said, with their sorority, I feel like that they show themselves in a positive light. So we can
Right.
see even with at the college that I went to, there were
Mm-hmm.
certain situations where it was fraternities or a guy or guys in a fraternity where they would, speak negatively towards
Mm-hmm.
another race,
Mm-hmm.
and these men would be expelled. So
Yes.
I look at that as the same way. Like
Yeah.
she needs to be expelled because when I see them, I see positivity. So
Yeah.
I don't think you faking a kidnapping is something positive. So I
Okay.
think that she should be expelled.
And that's
Um,
fair because you kind of goes over this stuff when you join. I would think, it's kind of
yeah.
part of it. I think I look at sororities and fraternities, even though sometimes they do some stuff we just don't understand. I think
Mhm.
in our community, they serve as something positive, kind of like that brotherhood,
Mhm.
sisterhood. Kind of they are here to, like you said, be a service to the community, kind of create these bonds. It's positive. I don't think, negative like that. I understand why they get kicked off yards and stuff like that because once you start making it look like these organizations have some type of negative thing to them, is you had to
Mhm.
show them away. You had to get them away. You don't want them to be represented that way. So, like you said, if it's a positive thing, you kind of got to keep it positive. You can't be positive and then kind of let the negative just slide through. So that's And mind you, you paid your money, so I get fighting to stay in there. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they pay that money, but in the level
But
of
she should
like
have thought about that before faking
exactly,
the
exactly,
kidnapping.
exactly. So that's why I say I understand why she'll want to fight to stay in, but in reality, I'm sorry, it's just like that honor code. Like
Yeah.
if you don't address one thing, then everything can slide. That's how I
Yep.
look at it. If y'all hold yourself like that, I don't know.
Okay, so do you think she should be charged with anything, or maybe community service, paying money back? What you think?
Okay, for sure the money. I'm gonna start there. The money, I think every effort that was put into that search should definitely be paid. I mean, I'm talking about paid back. I honestly feel like something should be done for the mother. I do not want to say her name wrong. Can you please say her name for me?
Anaya Blanchard.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
I think something definitely should be done for her. If anybody deserves something, she does.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm gonna be honest. I feel like they kind of because the case is slowing down. I don't think nobody's really doing enough for her. That's kind of who the case should be about. I mean, at this point, since you see it's not a real, thing to be searching for, that's who at this point should show her effort should be rewarded, if anything.
Yeah.
Because that's something very traumatic for her, and it opened up something that she probably never be over, but was probably trying to resolve. Just imagine that being interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the intention of it being good, but
Yep.
so definitely that's first. All effort should be paid back. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's some stuff we don't know. I'm pretty sure some donations and it's stuff we ain't never know. It's some money around here somewhere that was put into it that we'll never know about. But if it was, I definitely think it should be put back into somewhere else because no way. Um, the community service, that's you would want to say that, but then there's so many people who do stuff even less than that who don't get that, what I'm saying, that leeway. It's hard to just say I want you to get community service because it's some people who do stuff that's not even as bad as that, who really be serving time, like for real. Um, Now, of course, like I always say, I be, I don't ever want to get nobody in trouble. I don't never want nobody to, go to jail, all that type of stuff, whatever. But when you do something wrong, you just have to pay. I'm sorry, it's no way around it, especially when you involve the world. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and that's why I think a lot of people, especially people on Facebook, I think people are looking at it like it's something small. It's not like it's just really not something small. I understand they're gonna probably forget about it in some weeks, and she'll be with the talk of July. That's how they're gonna look at it. That was the talk of July, and I really hate for people to think that. I think people are literally gonna forget what happened, and then not even use the knowledge and what just happened to better them. I promise you, I know they're not. I think most of them took it as a joke anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I say this: if she do, I don't know how they're gonna do it, go to trial, which I think it's gonna be probably a mental thing, like we say. I see nothing coming of it. That's just how we work. That's how what the justice system. I think this is how it works. It's not that hard
Mm-hmm.
to kind of plead for something like that. But if we talk about deserving, I think whatever. If we want to go look up, I ain't look deep into it. Whatever is like the consequence of that, I think you just got to get the consequence of that. It's intentional. I don't think it was like a mistake. I don't think you mistakenly, what I'm saying, somebody did it to you. This is all you. So you just had to get those consequences. So whatever that consequence is, I mean, you can't really feel bad for it either. It's kind of the intentional thing. So whatever time consequence, you got to get it. I'm sorry. It just is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I do think
Go ahead, put a dagger in
she
there.
that she definitely deserves at least 6 months to a year in jail.
hmm
I give her 6 months to a year.
I feel you.
Um, Definitely an apology to
For
everyone,
sure. For
especially
sure.
Anaya Blanchard's mom,
That's what
but
I
the
honestly
our
think.
community,
Yes.
everyone,
I think what was in the
everyone
conference.
who was involved in the search, because of course we put a light on Anaya Blanchard's mom, but everyone that was
hmm
behind her as well, and other people in Hoover, maybe her friends
Yeah.
and family as well, a big apology, not just I'm sorry, but
Hmm.
I'm talking about breaking down everything. That's where the explanation need to go.
For real. And I think it, like I said, I think what was in the conference, it's just not, it can't be kind of like, this is what she said. You kind of literally have to hear it from that it just, at this point, it's really no way of
Hmm.
skipping around. Like, we want to hear this person tell us what she said. No, like literally, this is an adult. You just have to be for real. Like, we got to hear it straight from. That's kind of the real apology to me,
Yeah.
because it's to everybody. It's not like this happened in the house. It ain't something like we can just hear. Okay, you apologizing. This to everybody. Um, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. And also, of course, paying back the money. I do think she needs to pay back money. Um oh, and I said the people who was helping, also the Hoover Police Department, all them too.
Hmm.
And I do think she could do a little community service, even if
Yeah,
it's sitting with kidnapped victims and hearing
for
their
sure.
story
Oh
and they
yes,
see like this
for
is
sure,
not a joke.
for sure,
At least 60, 80 hours of
for sure.
just sitting in there listening.
Hmm.
So she definitely needs some time, like I said, and all of that. And before we get off, I did want to touch on the mental health part of it, right?
Hmm.
So again, we are not therapists.
Right.
But at the same time, do you think that this is literally a mental illness? Do you think mental health play a part in this hoax?
Hmm. I don't like to diagnose nobody because we are not doctors. But
Right.
I definitely don't think she probably went through the process of even being diagnosed. We kind of so early on in. Um, so I'm gonna say that when somebody literally deliberately does this kind of hmm, and now that I'm thinking, only because I feel like it was kind of like it was supposed to go longer and it didn't. I don't know. I don't know. But because somebody deliberately feels like there's no other way around something and can feel like they go to the biggest extreme, and you hear the phone call, can literally sit there and make up this stuff. And I'm gonna go. We got to go to a mental health a little bit. We got to, because
Hmm.
to sit there and do that, not saying that gives her any like excuse
Yeah.
or anything, but for real, you kind of got to think about mental health. There's literally some stuff in there that ain't been talked about. This the first time I'm pretty sure a lot of people. Well, it ain't the first time people have seen probably some patterns, but it's probably the first time they paying attention to it. I'm pretty,
Hmm.
and this right here lets me know that because it's did on such a big scale, that there's been some stuff done on a smaller scale that nobody paid attention to. Like I'm pretty sure some times where something else was done for attention, and everybody just kind of like just gave her the attention. It
Yeah.
kind of went on. So yeah, it definitely got to be something mentally that has told her like this is the thing to do, and that yeah, it's okay to do it. I'm always say that some always going up around, and like until you sit down with somebody and literally go through the process of figuring it out, she gonna be sitting around and probably could do it again. So I think if anything, like of course we know she gotta get the consequences. She gotta sit down. I mean, she gotta go through that process. Like that mental health so serious. I don't think just because she gotta apologize and because it's over with and like all the press gonna be done. I don't think that's gonna change nothing up here. I still think whatever made her do it is still up there spinning.
Yeah.
But yeah. So definitely you gotta touch on mental. It gotta be something with mental health. Got to.
Yeah. I know at the beginning I was just like, nah, this straight attention seeking,
Mm,
lying, all this. But again, I do think now that that is a mental health issue
it
for
is.
you to have to go to the extreme. You're going to look at what taken and what else did you
Mm,
look at to see
uh,
it what it will cost
the
to
yeah
for
the
Amber
Amber Alert.
Alert.
Mm-hmm.
You're strategically going through like steps on an abduction. So yes, it is definitely attention seeking and being a liar. because we know now, like people who literally just tell small lies.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's a problem. But a big lie like that is
It's
definitely some type of mental health issue, and we
issue,
need
yeah.
to recognize it. We need to put a
Yes.
name on it,
Mm-hmm.
and
For sure.
it
And I'm
needs to
hoping that
get
she,
handled.
yeah, I'm hoping that she get the help. I would
Yes.
hope that nobody just let her sit even after, because I honestly she probably still be sitting at home, probably nothing come of it. But I would hope nobody have her sitting at home and not getting the actual help she need. It, especially and she young like that. Like, man, get that girl. She gotta get some help for
Yes.
real. You gotta care enough, especially like the parent. You gotta care enough. There's no way you can sit there and look at what just went down and be like, it's nothing, like
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing wrong. Like we could just sleep on this. No, you got to. But
I
yeah,
always wondered too, like about her friends. Like, has she told any lies
that's a
to
good
them, like
question.
these little small lies?
Yeah,
Because it's
it
just hard to
started.
believe that someone, fake a
Mm-hmm.
kidnapping and not lie all the time. It's
Yeah,
just hard for me to believe that. Now, granted, it may be some people out there that can do that, but it's just hard for me to believe that
it
she
is.
just wasn't walking around lying.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
yep, man.
I don't know.
Carlee.
That's
I Carlee.
okay. Let me stop.
Gonna be some more stuff come out. I'm pretty sure we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
find out more facts, which I know everybody waiting on, or for those that even still care. I think we care because we care about like how to fix the community. Like we want to know, we want the answers
Yep.
because we want it to make sense. You just want stuff to make sense. Um, but I guess staying on topic, for me, I think the biggest thing because it's really, I'm gonna be honest, there's really no positive in this. But if you want to try to find a positive out of this, I think the best demonstration we got out of this whole thing is to show that sometimes our community can come together. Um,
Yep.
we don't often do it, and that's what made this such a big deal. We literally don't often do it. We don't do it enough. There's some people out there
Mm-hmm.
right now that probably need our help. Even if it's not every single one of us, it can definitely be groups of us that make stuff change and happen. And it shows that and just because you see she went home, it could have been the pressure of literally seeing this community come together and be so strong that you realize that they were gonna stop until they found her, or they were gonna find something. It was never gonna stop. Even you can say even the social media, just social media period. People was on there even if you going physically going out to search, people were literally on social media like, okay, this makes sense. Even that's how they dug up the old tweets and stuff. People just trying to make it make sense. They trying to find clues, trying to find something that makes sense. That show you like a community coming together. I wish
Mm-hmm.
we do it more often, but I will say out of everything, I guess, because not to give her too much, the one positive thing you can say about this was that the community came together. And it showed that we probably need to do it more often because, like I said, it's somebody that probably needs our help. And I hate that something like this can literally shy us away from doing it now. It's probably going to shy a lot of people away from coming together because they're going to be like, "Is this even worth it? Are we going to go through this again?" I hate that is even a thought now, but in general, I will say good job to our community at least
Mm-hmm.
for just coming together for once. Just and literally doing everything and putting every effort towards finding this girl. So yeah, if anything, I know we probably irritated that we done shared it. I ain't even
Mm-hmm.
paid enough to go unshare the girl post. I ain't even paid enough to do that. I let it sit there.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah, I know we're gonna look at the old stuff. I'm pretty sure people out there just showing sympathy, saying stuff, and I just say don't look back at your post and feel bad. Just kind of show that your intentions was good and that we'll do whatever to find one of us. So yeah, that's the only one positive I can actually find out of it. But I would hope that we would do it again. But if we don't, I understand. I just
Right.
understand. But yeah, that's all. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Let's see. I think I'm just gonna touch on the mental health part of it. So we can see that Carlee is 25 and someone 25 can come up with what I
Yes.
consider a big lie like
Mm-hmm.
that. I would say if you know anyone or especially someone young or your
Mm-hmm.
kids, cousins, whoever, who start off with these little white lies. And it's okay to tell a white lie. I think all of us lied about something. We
Yeah.
lie about come to work with um I was stuck in traffic, but we know you just
We
woke up
relate.
late.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
talking about them type of lies, but we're talking about really extreme type of lies.
Yeah.
Try to get that person some help, or
At least try to call it
talk
out.
to them
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
where. I was gonna say call it out, but
Hmm.
sometimes you got to be careful with that too, because
That is true.
so we'll just
That's true.
just try to see where it's coming from and maybe suggest them to see a therapist. So,
Hmm.
yeah, this attention seeking situations are getting out of hand and
Yes.
it needs to be nipped in the bud. Granted, some of us, everyone likes a little attention, but y'all know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. These extreme situations, this is not okay.
So thank you guys for watching episode 6. I know this was a heavy episode, but next week we will promise to have a fun one. But we definitely had to
Yes.
address this. This is very important in the community. So if you had any opinions on Carlee, you ain't got to bash her, but just kind of give us a commentary. Like, what were you thinking?
Mhm.
Did you believe it? Did you not believe it? Just give us something. And I know it's a sensitive topic. I know people don't want to say it's the wrong thing. I get it. But you can do that without stepping on toes. But yeah, so like we always say, like, comment,
Yeah.
share, and for like we always say, the continuous watchers. Keep
Thank
watching. Thank
you.
you. Thank you for staying
Mhm.
with us. And so yeah, see y'all on the next episode.